When should I use Object.create instead of new in JavaScript? Imagine building a house. You could use a blueprint to make many similar homes quickly, or you could build each one from scratch. In JavaScript, the same idea applies when creating objects. Sometimes, you want to create an object that inherits directly from a specific prototype without running any extra code. This is where Object.create shines. It lets you set the prototype of a new object directly, giving you more control over how objects are linked in the prototype chain. Using the new keyword works well when you have a constructor function that sets up properties and behaviors for each new object. When you call new with a constructor, JavaScript creates an empty object, links it to the constructor's prototype, runs the constructor code to initialize properties, and then gives you the finished object. This is perfect when each object needs to be initialized with specific data. But what if you want to create an object that shares methods from a prototype but don't want to run any constructor code? Or maybe you want an object with no prototype at all? That's when Object.create becomes handy. It creates a new object with the prototype you specify, or even with no prototype if you want. You can also define properties on the fly during creation, giving you fine-tuned control. For example, if you have a prototype object with shared methods like say hello or walk, and you want a new object that inherits those methods without any constructor, Object.create is your best choice. It keeps things simple and clear. On the other hand, if you have a constructor function that sets up unique properties for each object, like name or age, then using new makes more sense. It runs the setup code automatically, saving you from manually assigning properties later. Another key point is that Object.create can create objects with a null prototype, meaning they don't inherit anything from object prototype. This is useful when you want a completely clean object without any inherited properties or methods. The new keyword cannot do this directly. In summary, if you want to set an object's prototype explicitly and avoid running constructor functions, Object.create is the way to go. If you need to initialize objects with specific data through a constructor, then using new is more appropriate. Understanding this difference helps you write cleaner, more flexible JavaScript code that follows the principles of prototypes and object-oriented programming.